It can be frustrating feeling like you break your back working every day on a job that just doesn't seem to be paying you back as much as you'd hoped it would. It can seem like there's no hope for your finances, that no matter what you do, you just can't seem to get away from the paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle. Well, it's possible that you just have some poor money habits that are keeping you from fixing your finances. Welcome to Mindnificent. In today's video, we're going over 10 of the easily fixable money habits that are keeping you from earning some serious cash. Click that subscribe button if you want to be smarter with money and learn all the things about getting rich. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Number 1. You don't have a budget. A budget is one of the most important things any person can have in terms of managing their finances, but a surprising amount of people fail to use one effectively. If you don't have a budget, how can you monitor how much money you're earning, saving, and spending? Budgets are necessary for you to accomplish any long-term financial goals you may have, as they make spending and saving targets simple to come up with. In fact, many people find that the simple knowledge of how much they spend due to a budget makes them spend less since they become consciously aware of it. A good budget is also constantly updated as your goals and circumstances change and your progress financially. Your goals when you're barely living in a studio apartment are obviously going to be different from the goals you have when you're living in Beverly Hills. Number 2. You don't have any long-term goals. This is a more common trend among young people, and that makes sense. What do you mean I have to consider the future ramifications of my lavish spending? I just want to party and not think about boring adult stuff. Even if you do have long-term goals, it's very possible that they are too vague and non-specific to be of any use to you. If one of your goals is that you want to retire one day, or that you want to pay off your debt, then your goals need a rework. Goals aren't hopes and dreams, they're tangible, realistic, and specific. Research is important. Identify specific milestones you want to hit with your finances by certain points in time, and you'll find yourself a lot more motivated to complete them. Something like, I want to pay off $20,000 of my student loans in 3 years is infinitely better than I want to pay off my student loans. Once you have the goals established, it should, if you've done it right, constantly be at the back of your mind whenever you're considering buying yourself something you don't really need. Number 3. You buy cheap things instead of quality things. Intuitively, it makes sense to think that if you want to save money on your purchases, you ought to buy cheaper things, right? This makes sense on the surface, but think about what typically happens to cheap things. They break. Constantly. Meaning that you'll have to go out and buy another cheap thing, which breaks again, perpetuating the cycle of perceived frugality that is, in reality, crippling your finances. Instead of buying a $30 item every 6 months, buy a $50 item once a year. It'll feel counterintuitive at the time, but trust us, your wallet will thank you. The same thing goes for items that may not typically break. Don't buy 20 of the torn, rugged shirts just because they're cheaper. You'll end up never wearing them. It's a much better investment to buy 10 high-quality shirts that you're guaranteed to wear more often, even if it ends up costing you more money in the short term. Number 4. You think negatively about money. When money seems to be the biggest issue in your life, it's easy to hate it, especially when there are billionaires who seem to put in next to no effort but amass incredible amounts of wealth. Many people have the philosophy of money is evil, and regardless of whether it's true or not, you still need it to pay your rent. Money is just a tool to exchange for goods and services, and while it may be something that is severely impacting your life due to you not having a lot of it, it's important to not get the mindset that money isn't something that you want. It'll make working much harder, and you'll end up in a worse financial situation. Number 5. You're not aware of your spending habits. It's very easy for your poor spending habits to go unnoticed before it's too late. Many people don't realize that they overspend and underspend on things more than they should, such as buying food from 5-star restaurants more than they do at a supermarket. This habit tends to go hand in hand with not having a budget, so there is yet another reason to get one. Once you can quantitatively analyze how much you spend on things, it'll become obvious where you can fix your day-to-day expenses. Focus more on your needs than your wants. This may sound obvious, but many people underestimate how much they indulge. Noticing the problem is the first step towards fixing it. Number 6. You don't value your time. Your time is quite possibly the most valuable thing you have. You exchange your time and skills for money when you work in a job, and this is generally quite a good use of your time. Other uses, however, such as filling out surveys for a quick buck, is much less efficient compared to what else you could be doing. Even things like learning a new skill can be highly beneficial to your finances in the long run. Watching this video and all of our other videos, however, are a wonderful use of your time, of course. Spending time on making a financial plan instead of working a few extra hours at your job could even be a more beneficial use of your time, even though that seems counterintuitive. That being said, don't burn yourself out or overwork yourself to the point that you lose motivation. There is a plethora of evidence that shows that good health and time to yourself can be vital in ensuring optimal productivity and minimizing the risk of you burning out. So don't be afraid to open Netflix now and then, even if it isn't generating you a profit. Number 7. You hold on to things to give a sense of wealth. The image of someone with a lot of money is a house that's full with a lot of things. This makes sense, right? Rich people have a lot of money, so they're going to buy a lot of things. So logically, if you want to be rich, you should buy a lot of things, right? Wrong. So wrong. Unfathomably wrong. Having 2 cars, 3 sets of skis, and 5 tennis rackets doesn't make you rich. It makes you poor and irresponsible. Don't just buy things because you think it would be cool if you had them. Buy things because of the utility they can offer you, and most importantly, buy things that you actually need. The true indicator of your wealth is the number of investments and assets you have money in, not how many fish you have in your fishbowl. Number 8. You don't pay off your credit card balances. Credit cards are notorious for their high interest rates, and so keeping a credit card balance can be one of the worst habits you could possibly have. Try to pay off the balance each month so it's not constantly hanging over you and keeping you broke. A lot of people make the mistake of not paying the balance back because they think that they only have to make the minimum payment. That being said, it's not always possible for everyone to pay off their credit card balance. If you fall into that camp, it may be wise for you to create a temporary plan until you can pay down the balance remaining. That plan may involve you cutting out any unnecessary expenses and only buying the absolute essentials. Number 9. You spend too much money on stuff you don't need. We all have those purchases that, after only a week, a day, or a few hours, we think to ourselves, what the hell was I thinking? While these things are usually small and don't matter much in the moment, they add up and seriously affect your long-term financial growth. How often do you find yourself having these moments? If you end up realizing that you spend $50 unnecessarily every week, that amounts to an unnecessary $400 spent every 2 months. Suddenly, that souvenir you put on your closet seems a lot less cute, huh? Number 10. You don't invest your extra money. A lot of people don't realize that money is a tool. It can be used as leverage to earn more money, and in some lucky cases, a lot more money. If you have a lot of your money sitting in a savings account that is generating a low amount of interest, consider moving it to somewhere a lot more profitable. Think about it. Banks offer security, not financial gain. They try to convince you to stake your money in them for as little as possible. Now, investing does carry some risk, obviously, but you're going to struggle to meet your financial goals if you don't look into that new cryptocurrency your weird friend has been pestering you about. Do some research and find a more effective way to earn some money with your money than letting it sit in a bank account. That's all we have time for today. Which money habit do you find most helpful? Is it paying off your credit card balance or investing your extra money? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, please click on that subscribe button and bell notification button because more magnificent content is on the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.